we we use no action verbs.
Not necessarily. You could use actually action verbs sometimes.
Okay.
Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen. So, okay. So let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, thank you. So we're gonna have for passive voice, something very important. We have active and passive voice. What is the difference? So active voice is used when I wanna focus on the person doing the action. For example, if I go ahead and say, Marcus ate a chocolate cake, then the person that I'm talking about is Marcus. It's not Alonso, it's not David, it's not Jessica, it's Marcus. So the emphasis goes directly into the subject. That is active voice. When the most important thing in the sentence is the person. However, what happens if I use passive voice? Passive voice is to shift the emphasis of the sentence. So I no longer care about the person, but the action and what or whom was affected by it. So in the example that I gave you here, let me write it here. So for active voice will be the regular sentences that we have. What happens is that we're not told, oh, this is active sentence. Because if we were told that, then we will be asked, then is there any type of voice besides the active one? And then they will need to get into the argument of what is passive voice and everything. So for that reason, we're just taught active voice. So the examples that I gave was Marcus ate a chocolate cake. So this was example. This is active voice again because Marcus is the person that we care about. That it was Marcus and not somebody else. But if we want to shift it, then we go ahead and we take the object of the sentence, which in this case is a chocolate cake, and we put it at the beginning and we make some changes. For example, for passive voice, this sentence will be a chocolate cake. Any guess before I write it down? I'm gonna take that as a no. Okay, chocolate cake was eaten, and then I add by to add the entity that actually ate the chocolate cake. Every time, like every single time that you wanna mention who did the action, it needs to be introduced by. So by Marcus, by Jessica, by whomever, by this group, by these people, whomever, but it has to be introduced by this particle, by. Then what happened here, you may wonder. So passive voice has some specific traits, something very important that I always emphasize. Be is always going to be present when you have a passive voice sentence. It can be present one or more times, and it can be present in any of the forms that we have for be. So I know this is a very simple question, but who can tell me the present forms of the verb be? Okay, let me pick then. Jessica.
The form in the past.
No, well, it could be past or present.
In present is and are.
Okay,
And
perfect.
in the past was and were.
Okay, perfect. You just missed there am and
Yeah.
was you were. No, but that was perfect. Thank you. Was where we also have been and we have this other being, which we're gonna cover them. So you're gonna see be in any of the presentations. Something important is that it can also be itself. Like when we use, for example, future perfect. So when we have passive voice, it will be in any of these ways. Again, it could be in one or more ways. So how does this change that we made to the one sentence into the other work? So the sentence, as I said, we're going to choose the particle or the object that received the weight of the sentence, and we're going to put it at the beginning of the sentence. And then once that is done, then I need to work on the verb. Something important. This is an active verb, meaning that this is a verb that requires an entity to do something. I cannot say a chocolate cake ate, because if I say that, it means that the chocolate cake is alive. Like it can walk, it can move, it has a mouth, it has teeth, it has everything to be able to eat. And that is not true. So for that reason, we need to make that change into comió a fue comido. And to make that change is that we use be. So something important. The sentence was in what tense? Who can tell me that? Alonso, thank you. The original sentence, the one that is in active voice, what tense is the one that we find in this sentence? Alonso, you're muted just in case. Are you there, Alonso? Okay, David. Then let's see. Are you there, David?
Yes.
Okay, what is the tense that we find in the first sentence? Guys, something very important. When I ask a question, remember there is participation. So if you do not answer at all, then your participation is clearly being affected. Just saying.
Can you
Uh,
repeat me the question, please?
sure. In the first sentence, the one that says Marcus ate a chocolate cake, in that one, what is the tense? Is it present? Is it past? Is it future? What is the tense that
Okay.
we find in that one?
Okay. Simple past.
Yes, perfect. So something important, since it was simple past, in order to carry the simple past from the active voice sentence into the passive voice sentence, we're going to use be. And instead of using is or are, we're going to use was. Why? Because was is a simple past version of be. So we use was. And then the main verb, in this case, ate, comes from eat. So ate is going to change into the past participle and remain at the end of the sentence. Of course, by now we have not added the entity. We add the verb and then we add the entity that performed the action. Okay, let me give you another example. In active voice, it would be, okay, let me think. Sarah brought a new car. So in this one, again, I'm using simple past. So I'm going to take the entity that received the weight of the sentence, put it at the beginning, and say a new car was, because it was simple past, and then I'm going to use the past participle of brought. In this case, it is the same because it is an irregular verb, so it's not going to change. A new car was brought by, and then the person that performed the action, Raul. Any questions up to now?
No, teacher.
Super clear. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is that we're gonna go through each one of the different tenses, because the way that you see it here, this is not the only tense. We have it on every single tense that we have in English, we have passive voice. So now let me go ahead and make like a division here, and let's just start one by one. So let's just start with simple present. So it is very simple and the same works for all of them. So for simple present, if I have a sentence in active voice, let's say, I don't know, Mauricio cook pasta. Then since this is cooks pasta, sorry, and then this is active voice, the second one will be in passive voice. So what would be the version? Pasta, can I say was?
Yes.
Close but not there, because this is simple present. So we're gonna use be, but we need be to be in simple present. Why? Because be is the one that is gonna tell me what is the tense that we're using for this one. So pasta is cooked. Why cooked? Because we're gonna use the verb. The main verb is gonna be in past participle. Is cooked by Mauricio. Something very important. This part, the by part, you can omit it. You don't need to have it. It's optional. So if you don't want to say who, you can go ahead and say it. Because actually passive voice is used sometimes when you don't know who the person is. So you can go ahead and say a bank was robbed. By whom? You don't know. So that's why you say a bank was robbed, because you just know what happened. Okay, so this one is in simple present. Now let me go ahead and give you one in present continuous. Okay, so present continuous. Let's say Fernanda is taking pictures. So in this one, again, I'm gonna be using the object of the sentence, put it at the beginning, and say pictures are being taken by Fernanda. Something very important. In this case, I'm using is here and are here because pictures, it's a plural noun. So this is something that you need to be very careful about, because it is super common for people to go ahead and then make the changes and forget that this one could, the one at the beginning, the subject could be singular and the object could be plural, or the other way around. I could go ahead and say they took a picture, and then when I change it, it'll be a picture was and not where. Any question up to now in regards to these two tenses?
No.
Okay, so can I get someone to give me an example using present perfect? Okay, let's see. Catherine, can you give me an example using present perfect?
Teacher,
Yes, tell me.
I have a question.
Sure.
Um, why being in the second um
This one.
yes,
Thank you. That's a really good question. Because in this case, we're using being, we're using in something very beautiful that passive voice has, is that every verb that we have there, it's actually giving us a clue of why it is there. So for example, in the first one, pictures are, this are is telling me that the sentence is in present. And then the being is telling me that it's not only in present, but present continuous. So that's the what those two are telling me, and then the taken is telling me that is the main verb of the sentence. That's why in passive voice, the main verb will always, always, always be kept in past participle, because that's the way that the verb is telling us, hey, I'm the main verb. I'm the one that was here first. And then the others will adjust to show you or show the person that is listening or reading what tense is or what was the original tense. In this case, if you convert it, then you can say, okay, Fernanda was the one doing the action. So it'd be like Fer is taking pictures, because you start removing things and making it like an active voice. Did I answer your question?
yes, teacher. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So Catherine, can you give me the example using present perfect in active voice, not passive? Don't worry about passive yet. Any idea?
No, teacher. Sorry.
Don't worry. Okay, present perfect is the one that we use to say that we started an activity in the past and that we may or may not be doing it in the present. So for example, I can go ahead and say, I have eaten apples since I was a kid. So that means that since I was young, I started eating apples, and up to now, I still eat apples because I'm not saying I don't. I'm saying I have eaten apples since I was a kid, meaning that I started in the past and may continue in the present. Something important is that I'm not saying I'm doing it right away. I'm just saying that I still do it. Maybe not at the moment, but I could eat an apple tomorrow or a week from today or in 3 months, but it means that I still like them and that I still eat them. So that is present perfect. How does it work, or how do we form present perfect? Okay, just by having the subject, you can say, I don't know, say Karen has, let's see,
Travel a lot.
mm, that, mm, that doesn't work. I mean, that's a perfect sentence. Let me go ahead and write it down. Wait. But it doesn't work for passive voice because
Played soccer.
yes, play soccer works a lot, but let me explain why this one, why first. So Karen has traveled a lot doesn't work because we need to have a direct object, an object that receives the weight of the sentence. So then we can use that one and put it at the beginning. It's like you're looking for someone to blame and you're like, oh, this one, I'm gonna put it here. But if you say Karen has traveled a lot, there is nothing after the a lot. So for that reason, we cannot use it for passive voice. For present perfect, just like that, like Karen has traveled a lot, that one is perfect. You can say that. Any regarding the structure, it's perfect because it means that she started traveling long time ago and she's still traveling, like she has not stopped traveling. So that's perfect. The one that I don't know who was the person who said it, but the one that was like Karen has, let me go ahead and write it here. Karen has played soccer. This one works perfectly. Why? Because here I have a direct action or object that I can actually take and put at the beginning of the sentence. So, for example, in this one, I can go ahead and say, okay, soccer. So I can say soccer has been played by Karen. Okay, and again, something very important in case that you're not familiar with present perfect, I'm not aware if you are or if you're not, but in case that you're not, in present perfect, we always, always, always use has or have, of course, depending if it is another subject that is not she, here, it. So if you use I have travel, they have travel, we have travel. When it is any of those, then I'm gonna use have. If it is she, here, it's going to be has. So Karen has traveled a lot or Karen has played. In this one, soccer, since soccer is the same as it, I'm going to keep it as has. So soccer has been played by Karen. This being is telling me that it is a what? A perfect tense. And the played, again, is the main verb. And for that reason, it's going to be kept in what? In past participle. And then, of course, I have the complement, which is just the entity that performed the action in the beginning, which we are not emphasizing anymore. Questions with this one? I'm going to take that as a no, and that is perfect. So I'm going to go with Melissa Chinchilla. Can you give me an example using present perfect?
Profe, la que usted me arregló, Karen has played soccer.
Well, you were the one who gave me that one.
I say that Karen has traveled a lot.
Okay, well, no, you already participated. Gloriana, give me a sentence using present perfect. Again, this is just passive voice, not active at the moment. I just want to see if you are mastering this tense first.
Okay, hello.
Hello.
Vamos a ver. Eh, the pictures has
Uh-huh.
been taken by Karin. No, es have, ¿verdad?
Oh,
Porque todas
yes.
las fotos.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for correcting. I love that. Let me write it here and then put it here. Have been taken by Karen. This is perfect. And I love that you're already giving it to me using passive voice. Then, okay, that was perfect. Thank you. Glory, then let's see. Marcos, if I had to take this sentence, the one that Glory just gave me, and turn it into active voice, how would it be? How would be the last sentence, the original sentence, let's say, not the passive voice version, but the original one?
The active voice.
Exactly.
Okay. Karen has taken pictures.
Karen has taken pictures. Yes, this is perfect. Thank you, Marcos. Okay, now let's move into the following tense. So the following tense that we're going to talk about is the one that we already saw actually in the beginning, the one that I used for the example, simple past. So this one is going to be piece of cake since it was the first one. So this one, what we're going to do is that it's the exact same thing that we did at the beginning. I'm going to use Marcus again. Marcus ate a chocolate cake. And then what I'm going to do is just take the object, put it at the beginning. Sorry, the object starts here. A chocolate cake. Then I need to mark the tense. So I'm going to use was. And the main verb will be in past participle. So eaten. Chocolate cake was eaten by, and then Marcus. Okay, now let's jump into the other one. Remember that if you have any question in regards to any tense, stop me at any moment, regardless of which one it is, and we can go directly into that one. Okay? Then the following will be past continuous. So this one, it's pretty much the same thing as the present continuous. The difference is that we're going to change is or are for was or were. So for example, let's see, Andrea was driving a car, period. So I'm going to take the object and say a car was being driven by Andrea. And that is pretty much what we do. So we're marking the tense here, saying that it was past, and not only past, it was past continuous. And then we're going to have the main verb in past participle. So we can show the person that is listening or seeing our example that this was in passive voice. Now let's change. Let's go to the following one, which is going to be past perfect. So let's see, Alonso. Can you give me an example of a passive, not a passive, an active voice sentence in past perfect?
And mm, teacher Louis
Mm-hmm.
had met uh, a student in the meeting.
Had met student like this.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this one we're gonna do, I like the sentencing. I think it's a bit long, but it's very good. Probably my handwriting is just too big. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna take the object of the sentence, something very important. Something I like about this sentence is that it has two complements. It has the direct complement, which is a student, and then it has the other, the circumstantial complement, which is in a meeting, in the meeting. So this one, we're not gonna use it at the beginning because it's not the main complement that I need. I need this one. Why? Because it's the one that is getting all the weight of the sentence. So I'm going to say a student what? Who can help me a little bit with this? Who can imagine? William. Which one do you think would be the structure? Don't worry if you don't know. It's normal. We're just trying.
A student has been mm, I don't remember the past participle of meet.
It's met. It's the same.
Okay.
This bean or the other bean.
This
This one.
bean.
Okay. This one is almost perfect. The only thing that you missed was this, because this is past perfect, meaning that we need to keep the had. So this one should be had. A student had been met by teacher Luis. But thank you very much. That was really good, William. That was a really good guess. Guys, any questions up to now? Because we have actually covered like 6 tenses or so. Any question before we dive into future?
No, teacher.
Super clear. Well, I hope so. Okay, now let's dive into future. So, as you know, when we use future, it's super simple. So we just go ahead and right here. So when we use future, we use will or going to. So we go ahead and say, I don't know, let me think. Jesus will will create a new test. So we go ahead and take the object and say a new test will be created by Jesus. As simple as that. I can also go ahead and use be going to and say, for example, okay, let me think. Okay. Jorge is going to buy a new house. So I take the object, a new house, is going to be bought by Jorge. As simple as that. The only difference this one is I'm going to add the be, and then again, the main verb will be kept in past participle. And now, after talking about future, we're going to talk about future perfect. I don't know if we have already covered future perfect, but there is a future perfect tense. So, are you familiar with future perfect before I dive into the examples?
Is the verb with ing?
No, it's not with ing. We use future perfect when an activity will be done by that specific time. For example, I could go ahead and say the cake will have well, that would be passive voice. So I can go ahead and say I will have eaten the cake by tomorrow, meaning that by tomorrow at any time I will have already devoured all the cake. That is future perfect when you're making like supposition for something that is not like it's gonna happen in the future, like something that you know by that specific time is that you're gonna finish that, either something eaten or any activity. So for example, I can go ahead and say I will have taken many courses by next year. So by next year or before it starts, I will have already taken a lot of courses, meaning I will have learned a lot. So this is active voice. If I want to go ahead and change it, I need to identify which is the main object here, which in this case is many courses. So I go ahead and say many courses will have been taken by me next year. Wait. Okay. Any question up to now? I want to take that as a no then. So what we're going to do is the following. So I'm going to start broadcasting and we have some practice.
Teacher,
Yes, tell me.
¿puede poner de nuevo la que no terminé de copiar?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Where were you? Jessica?
Yes.
Where were you? Like in which tense?
The last.
Okay, let me go ahead and share just a second. Okay, there you go.
Thank you, teacher.
You're most welcome. You already finished?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now please go to the book. Let me give you which is a specific page. Okay, so I'm going to give you some time to work in part A and B of page 55. So page 55 in part A, it says, read the high clear causal text again, underline an example of the present passive, the past passive, the present perfect passive, the past perfect passive, and the passive infinitive. How do you form the passive? What part of the passive changes when you want to change the tense? So from this one, we're missing the passive infinitive. We haven't seen that one. Let me go ahead and explain that one super quick before I ask you to do that. Okay, so who can tell me what an infinitive is? Not in passive, just an infinitive. Like if to see if any of you have any idea of what that is. Okay, let's see. Hazel, can you tell me what an infinitive is?
I don't know.
Okay,
You're wrong.
perdón, can you repeat it again?
To run the verbs.
Sorry, I didn't quite get that. An infinitive is super simple and you have seen it hundreds of times and I'm sure you actually use it. It's just that you're not familiar with the term. So we have something called gerunds and infinitives. An infinitive is just when you see, for example, it says to take. That is an infinitive. So in passive voice, it's going to be like going to, the change that you make is to, you add the be, and then the verb is going to be in what? Past participle. So for example, I can go ahead and say, I have to take pictures. Then here's where the infinitive is. So I take the object and say pictures have to be taken. As simple as that. So I still keep the main verb, which is have, and then I have the to, which is infinitive, which is to take, and then to be taken. That is a change that we make when we have a passive infinitive. As simple as that. Clear with that one?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so I want to start presenting right now so we can actually move into the practice. As I said, it's in page 55. So I'm going to give you some time to complete part A. And if you finish part A, then click on part B that says Grammar Bank, learn more about the passive and practice it. So there you're going to have some practice to be working on it. So first complete part A, and then we're going to work on part B. Okay. So I'm going to give you, it's 7:15. I'm going to give you, let's say 10 minutes. 10 minutes to work on both. Of course, you don't have to finish part B today, but you have to finish part A and try to do as much as you can from part B, okay? So in 10 minutes, we're gonna check to see where are you. Still, if you have any question, I'll be here.
Teacher, which is the page?
It's page 55.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, guys, how did it go? Were you able to finish part A?
Yes, teacher.
Thank you, Melissa. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let me see. Do I have volunteers for each one of the examples?
One check.
Yes, thank you, Hazel. So in this case, the first one that they're asking for, it says present passive. So from the high group reading, where did you identify a present passive?
I think the Castro has been owned with the Carnival family.
Yes, but no. That one is present, but present perfect. But that one works for present perfect. So in a way, you got that one, but not the present passive. In that one, we're just looking for one where it is just present. I mean, the either is or are or am, and the verb with the past participle of the form. Let's see, Mario, can you give us one using present passive? Mario?
If you want, I can say it.
Yes, please, David.
Okay. It is an inhabited by gangsters.
Okay, where did you see it? In which line?
Um, Page 54, Cortland Alley, the second
Oh,
paragraph.
okay, it's because you're in a court line. Yes, it is not inhabited by gangsters. That is perfect. Thank you. Then the following that we're looking for is past passive. Mario, can you give us one in past passive? William, can you give us one?
Who had been wounded.
In present, sorry, past passive.
Uh, in simple past.
Yes, simple past, but in passive voice.
Yes, this is in past perfect. Who had been wounded.
Exactly. That one will pass perfect. Can you try to get one in past, simple past, but in passive voice for us?
Teacher,
Yes, tell me.
um, Eric Wilson was inspired by this building.
Okay. Yep, that one works. When which line is it? Jessica.
In the page.
In which line of the paragraph? It's just to make sure that we can all find it.
In C, Casa de Loma.
Okay. Let me go ahead and go to that one.
It's the last line.
It's going to bite me. Never found it. No, I mean the example was perfect. The example was perfect because I heard what you said and it's perfect because it was inspired. It works perfectly. Um, yeah, I found it. You're right. But yeah, it's the very last line. That is perfect. Thank you, Jessica. Let's see. William, can you give us one in the following which is past passive, present perfect, passive? Well, no, this one was the one that I think it was Catherine, the one that gave us at the beginning. The has been owned. However, William, did you find another one that is in present perfect passive?
No, teacher, I don't find another
Don't
one.
worry. Don't worry. Guys, did anybody find another one that it's in past? Oh, sorry, no, that was in present perfect passive.
I have one.
Bueno,
Cortland Alley has been used for almost all the alley scenes in movies.
yes, that one is perfect. Has been used for almost all the alley scenes in the movies. That is perfect. Thank you so much, David. And we already got one from the one that was past perfect passive, which was the one with the hat. We're just missing one with passive infinitive. Did you guys find any?
Infinity.
Yeah, but in passive voice.
Okay. One moment. I think that in thousands of tourists want to be photographed in
Yeah,
Cortland Alley.
that is perfect. Thousands of tourists want to be photographed in Cortland Alley. That is perfect. Thank you so much, David. That was perfect. Okay, so now you have an idea of how each one of them can be found in the same reading. And as you can see, most of them could actually be put in a very good paragraph, depending on what you're saying. We're not going to check today the grammar part because, sorry, the part B, the grammar bank. We might check it later. Please complete it and send me a screenshot once you do. We're gonna move super quick into the pronunciation part, the one that we have there in page 55 with the number 3. So sentence stress. Super quick. Is any of you familiar with what a content word is? Is I guess no. So content words pretty much are just words that will be stressed in the sentence. And these are the most important words in the sentence. Sorry. So what are content words? Content words can be nouns, can be verbs, can be adverbs, or can be adjectives. I know this is super silly, but I'm going to ask you for each one of them to make sure that you're familiar with those. So let's see, let's start with Gloriana. Gloriana, can you give me an example? There are 3 types of nouns. So can you give me an example of one of them?
Teacher, repeat, please.
Sure, don't worry. There are 3 types of nouns. Can you give me an example of one of them? Or let me change it a little bit. Can you tell me what a noun is?
Vamos a ver. She, it, he.
No, necessarily. A noun doesn't have to be a sentence. It's just a word. There are 3 types of nouns. They could be people, they could be places, or they could be things. So for example, I could go ahead and say bottle, and this is a noun. I could say, I don't know, San Jose, and that's a noun. Or I could go ahead and say Gloriana, and that's a noun, because it will be people,
Okay.
places, and things. Those are
Como
nouns.
car, bicycle,
Exactly.
Santa Elena.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Glory. Then, okay, those are nouns. Then we have adjectives, which, as you can imagine, are things that describe nouns. So I can go ahead and say the green bottle. So green will be the adjective because it is what telling me something about the noun. It could also be the big, beautiful, expensive, new, etc. All of those are adjectives. And adverbs are things that modify verbs. So for example, if I say she run fast, then fast is an adverb. Why? Because it is modifying not she, but how she run. The same is, for example, if we say she cooked deliciously, that deliciously is modifying the way that that person cooked. So for that reason, that is an adverb. And the last one that I mentioned was verbs. Of course, verbs are content words because those are things that need to be emphasized every time that we speak. So we need to go ahead and make sure that when we pronounce them, they are emphasized. So super quick, if you click on the sound button of the book, does it open the listening for you? Yes or no?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, I just wanted to double check on that. So now what we're gonna do, it. Well, we could do it actually together. Let me see if I can share my audio with you, just the audio. Okay, just a second. Okay, let me know if you hear mine. Sorry, mine is not presenting yet. Okay, please let me know if you can hear the audio.
3.32. 1.
I'm gonna take that as a yes then. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen to it. As you can see in mine, they're already completed, so there's no issue with that. However, the ones that are in pink, those are the content words. So what we're gonna pay attention to is how they are stressed in the sentence, meaning how the speaker gives more emphasis to these specific words.
The movie is based on a famous book.
2.
The house was built in the 16th century.
3.
The castle has been visited by thousands of tourists.
4.
The tower was designed by a famous architect.
5.
Where is it being filmed?
6.
Who was it written by?
Okay, perfect. Were you able to notice the difference between when they were saying, for example, the and house? They say like the house was built in the 16th century. So in this case, even though they had was built, they emphasize built because it is the main verb. So when we're speaking, we do the same. We need to make sure that we emphasize the content words, which are all those words that I mentioned, to make sure that our speech sounds not only easier to understand for the whomever is listening to us, but also that it makes some sense. Because if we read everything in the same tone, as I mentioned on Tuesday, it sounds very flat. And then whomever that is listening to us might not pay attention. However, if we make or if we give the right intonation to it, then the person might not be fully paying attention to us, but get some words. And the words the person is going to get are the content words, because those were the ones that were emphasized the most, therefore the ones that the person can actually remember. Okay, now let me go ahead and stop presenting. Okay, now we're gonna go to the speaking part 5. This one, it's in page. This one is in page 56. So we're gonna do this in pairs. I'm gonna give you around 10 minutes to speak. Something important is that you both have to speak. So in the first round, we're gonna have, for example, if we have Gloriana and Marcos. So Gloriana will be the person asking the questions, Marcos will be the person answering, and then it's gonna be the other way around. Marcos will be the person asking the questions and Gloriana answering. Any questions?
No, teacher.
Okay, let me go ahead and send you into the breakout rooms. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna give you 10 minutes up to 7:53.
Ahí está el profe. Profe,
Is that Spanish?
profe,
Tell me.
disculpe, es que acabo de mandarle un mensaje. Esto es completamente fuera de curso. Es que vea, voy a prender la cámara para que vea. Estos audífonos tienen esta cosa y con el codo estripé este botoncillo y por más que le daba el botón cuando usted me llamaba, profe, no, ya no logré desmutearme y la bestia interior resurgió y me ataranté.
Tranquilo, no hay
Entonces,
problema.
perdón.
Tranquilo, mami, gracias por decirme.
Would-
Did you have any question in regards to the activity?
Yeah, we don't know what we have to do.
It's in, that's a very honest question. Okay, what you have to do is you're in page 56, the one that says speaking. So it says the movie. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, it says interview. So for example, I'm gonna assign a role, hypothetically. So let's say William will be the one interviewing Mario. So William, what you have to do is you have to say, for example, Mario, can you think of a movie that was incredibly funny? And then Mario has to, I don't know, let's say, yes, I watched, I don't know, Fast and Furious, and it was very funny. And then you go ahead and ask the same question. Can you think of a movie that had a very sad ending? And then Mario has to answer. It's like a regular interview, and then we're gonna switch the roles. So if you were asking on the first round, then Mario will be the person asking on the second round. So Mario will be saying, okay, William, can you think of a movie that was incredibly funny? And then you have to answer, I don't know, with any movie that you think was really funny. And like that with all the questions that we have over there. I'm actually going to give you a little bit more of time because now that I see it, it'll be several questions and I don't think 10 minutes will be enough. So I'd rather give you a little bit more.
Teacher,
Yes.
in three questions, all the options
Yes, exactly.
of each one.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's
Thank you,
why
teacher.
you're welcome. That's why I was thinking to give you maybe like 15 minutes or something, because I think 10 will be too little for both of you to ask the question and for the other person to actually reply to the question. So yeah, I'm probably going to give you a little bit more time, so don't worry. Keep working on that. I'm just going to tell the other guys from the other groups. Okay?
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Do you need me for any other question?
No,
No.
everything
Okay.
is clear.
Awesome.
Hi, teacher.
Sorry, I was muted. Hello, guys. Super quick. I just came to tell you that I'm going to give you a little bit more time, not just the 10 minutes, because you're at 3. And the idea is for you to be able to ask all the questions and for hopefully all of you to be able to answer all of the questions. Okay? Do you have any question in regards to the activity before I leave you? Yes?
Teacher,
No? Tell me.
we very confused
Okay.
because I we don't understand if the practice is about passive voice or passive.
Oh, no, no.
Uh,
No. This is just like merely like a speaking practice. So passive voice is for the one that we just did, the part A and B. This one is merely speaking. So what you have to do is use the speaking part, the one that I can actually see on the screen, the one that says the movie interview. And what you have to do is ask the questions to the other person. For example, I don't know, let's say Jessica. Jessica, you're going to ask David and Hazel. Okay, can you think of a movie that was incredibly funny? And then they have to reply saying, I don't know, yes, I watched, I don't know, Cruella, and I think Cruella was incredibly funny, for example, and so on and so forth. So that's what all of you have to do: ask the questions and try to answer the questions. My recommendation, because I'm going to try to give you like a little bit more than 10 minutes, but not probably it will not be enough for all of you to ask all the questions and for all of you to answer all the questions. So maybe you can take rounds. For example, Jessica, you can ask the first one. David, you can ask the second one. Hazy, you can ask the third one. And then every time all of you answer. For example, Jessica can be the one saying, can you think of a movie that was incredibly funny? David answers, Hazel answers, and then Jessica, you can say, oh, and I can also say this one, for example. Or I remember this one, I don't know, Mortal Kombat, which was incredibly funny, something like that. So you can actually take turns, ask questions, and at the same time, you can also give the answer. Clear?
Clear,
Yeah.
teacher.
Okay, awesome. If you need me, just
Thank you.
you're very welcome. Just ask for the help button, and I'll be right here. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Tell me.
No, I'm gonna make the next quick question.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Hello,
Can
girls.
you
Hi, this is me, the teacher. So, well, first of all, I love that you're using English because I've gotten in some groups and they're using Spanish. So awful. So that's a very good thing. Like I'm proud of you for that. I just wanted to see if you have any question in regards to the activity, the one in page 56, the one for speaking. Any question?
No, teacher.
Okay, awesome. I'm probably going to give you a little bit longer, than just the 10 minutes that I mentioned, because I just want to make sure that you can answer all the questions and ask all the questions. And there are several over there. So just in case that I don't call you like within the 10 minutes that I said, just be aware that it's because of that, okay?
Okay.
So am I speaking too fast today?
No.
That no was
No,
like a yes hidden with a no, but I'm just gonna take the no and be like, okay, I'm not speaking fast, which is a good thing. No, but if I am, just feel free to let me know, okay?
Thank you, teacher.
You're very
thank you,
welcome.
teacher.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Sorry, I was muted. Hello, guys. I just wanted to double check super quick to see if everything is clear.
Yes, teacher. Everything is
Awesome.
clear.
Awesome. So let me go ahead and hear
Yes.
you doing your magic. Can you ask who is asking and who is answering? Or how are you doing it?
And both answer and both asking.
Oh, I love that. So go ahead and do it. And I'm just going to be here like for 1 more minute or less.
Okay. Alonso, um, is it based on a book or on a real event?
No, the movie is not based on a book or a real event. It's animated.
Yes. Um, does it have a good soundtrack?
Yet, yes, it has a really good soundtrack.
Y ya yo creo que eso sería.
Did you ask all the questions?
Not teacher. We were choosing the more, I don't know, the one that we like to ask, or we have to ask all of them.
The idea is to try to ask all of them. So I'm going to give you some extra time. Try to ask the ones that you were missing. And I'm going to be calling you in a few minutes, okay?
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Okay.
You're most welcome. Okay, guys, so how did it go? Okay, I'm going to be asking group by group to answer a few of the questions that were asked and the answer that you actually received. Okay, let's see. Alonso, who were you working with?
With Marcos.
Okay, so can you tell us one of the questions that you asked Marcos and the answer that he gave you?
I asked Marcos if he preferred foreign movies or national movies, or I don't remember the answer, but he said he preferred foreign movies.
I think it's very common to hear that. Thank you, Alonso. And Marcos, can you tell us a question that you asked to Alonso and the answer that you got from him?
I asked to Alonso about tell me about a really good movie that you've seen in this year, and he said that he have seen Shrek.
Shrek, like the ones with the donkey and or a different one? That
I
one.
don't know. He only said Shrek.
Okay. Okay, probably that one. Okay, thank you, Marcos. Let's see, Meli Cuero. Who were you working with?
With Gloriana.
Okay. Emily, can you tell us a question that you asked to Gloriana?
Yes. Can you think of a movie that was incredible funny? And Gloriana, she say, The Minions was incredible funny.
Okay, great, thank you. And Glory, can you tell us a question that you asked to Meli?
Vamos a ver. Estoy nerviosa, profe, por aquello.
Don't worry, it's gonna be fine.
Vamos a ver. Romeli, tell me about a really good movie you've seen this year. Is it based on a book? Nelly said Notebook has been based in a book.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Glory. That was perfect. David, who were you working with?
With Hazel and Jessica.
Me.
Sorry.
Okay. Can you tell us a question that you asked them?
Yes, do you prefer seeing movies at home or in a movie theater? They said uh, they prefer in a movie theater.
True. Okay. Hazel and who was the other person? Jessica, right?
Jessica, yes.
Okay. Hazel, can you tell us a question that you asked them and their answer?
I asked what prefer saying foreign movies dubbed or with subtitles.
Dubbed or with subtitles?
Subtitles, and they prefer the movies dubbed.
Dubbed. I prefer them with subtitles. I don't know. I like them more. Thank you, Hazel. And Jessica, can you tell us a question that you asked them and their answer? Try for it to be a different one than the ones that we have already heard.
I asked to David, do you prefer say movies at home or in the movie theater? And he said the movie theater. And I asked to Gloriana if you prefer the movies from your country, and she said she doesn't like national movies.
Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. And I think you meant Hazel, but it's okay.
Hazel, sorry.
It's okay, don't worry. I think I'm missing William, right?
Yes.
Okay, William, who were you working with? With Mario, right? I think those are your two are the ones that were missing.
Yes, with Mario.
Okay, can you tell me a question that you asked Mario and his answer?
I asked him, can you think of a movie that made you feel good? And he says, The Lord of the Rings.
Okay, good. And Mario, can you give us a question that you asked William?
Okay, I asked him for a movie that has had a very sad ending. He told me Titanic, but he doesn't like that movie.
I think it's very old, so that's why it could be. Okay, guys, that was perfect. So now, right now, we're gonna do a. Last time you asked for a break. So I was going to ask you, since last time we also talked about around 2 hours of class, so we could take a break of 10 minutes. Would that be okay, or would you rather keep going and then just finish around 8:30? What would you prefer? I'm open to any option. Like, honestly, I have no issue with any of those two. What would you prefer?
I prefer keep
Keep going.
keep going. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, teacher, me too.
Me too, teacher.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So just a quick question for future classes, would you rather have a break or just keep going to 2 hours and then when it is done, we all go home? Midnight. Not literally because we're gonna be home, but would you prefer to for the next classes to keep going or to have a break like in the middle? Just to keep it in mind.
Teacher, I think it depends of the class.
On how we're feeling.
Yes, teacher.
So I'm gonna ask the question every single class to see like if you want to have a break or if you want to keep going. Okay, now we're gonna move into page 58. So please go to page 58. We're gonna do a little bit of reading and speaking, but we're gonna focus on reading out loud. So I'm gonna be asking most of you, I think, to read one line or two or more from the information that we have over here. So first of all, we have, is everyone already in page 58? Yes, no, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so in this case, we have a small paragraph in the bottom right corner that says, what does your profile picture say about you? So for the first one, the one with this whether blah 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 until you. Alonso, can you read that part for us out loud, please?
Teacher, it says it's currently loading.
It's okay, don't worry. Let me go ahead and Marcos, do you have it loaded already?
Yes.
Okay, can you read from whether until you in that just the kind of light blue letters?
Okay. Whether it's a photo of you on a night out or of you with your newborn baby, the imagine you choose to represent you on a social networking site says a lot about you.
Thank you. Super quick, it's image. Image, and something that I've heard some of you saying, it's you don't say usually like says, but says. Then working site, says a lot about you. Thank you, Marcus. Now, Meli Cubero, can you read from profile pictures until okay, let's see.
Teacher, excuse me, what is the
Sure.
page?
We are in page 58. Go there and let me know when you're there so we don't leave you behind.
Teacher, excuse me.
Sure, tell me.
Can you share? Can you share screen, please? Es que no me carga.
Okay,
No
sure.
logro ver.
Don't worry, absolutely. Let me go ahead and share that with you. Just a second. Okay. Okay, there we go. So Marcus just read the first one, the one that says whether it's a part of you, blah, blah, until you. Now we're going to read the second part, which is profile pictures. And for this one, I was asking Meli Cuero to start with says profile pictures until significant. Please, Meli. Significant, it's over here. I don't know if I can actually mark it. I think I can. Wait. Here.
Okay.
Until there.
Profile pictures on Facebook and similar sites are the visual projection to friends and family of who you are and what you are like. On Twitter, where people follow both friends and strangers, profile pictures are smaller and perhaps more significant.
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 Yes, perfect. Thank you. Now from there often until you, when I have Alonso.
They are often the first and only visual introduction people. Okay, introduction people have to each other. So what does your profile photo say about you?
Perfect. Thank you. Now we're going to switch to the, sorry. Okay, here we go now. Now we're gonna do is we're gonna move into this one. So that's where I'm gonna be needing all of you. So it says, according to communications consultant Harry Prone, there are 12 categories that cover most types of profile pictures. So as you can see, we have some of them that are already filled, like number 1, but number 2 is empty. So in case that you can look at it, we have the answers in the previous page. So this one's, the ones that we have over here, a photo of you as a child, vacation photo, logo of your business or company, photo with a celebrity, photo with a partner, and photo with your baby or child. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna go and read this, and we're gonna think or kind of suggest which one do you think should go in every space. Of course, the ones that already have the title, they don't need to be taken into consideration for that selection that we're going to do. But the ones that are missing are the ones that we need to choose which ones from the previous page can fit in this. Okay, so for the first one, number 1, let me see. Jessica, can you read number 1?
Yes, teacher. The professionally taking photo, you use social media mainly for business or career purposes.
Purposes.
Purpose.
Thank you. And super quick commercial over here. Look at this one, the professionally taken photo. So if you as sorry, I didn't say anything. As you can see, the word professionally, it's an adverb. which means that this is a content word, meaning a word that if you're saying it should be emphasized. Why? Because it's a very important word. And as an adverb, it's qualifying the taken, meaning the verb, how the photo was taken. So it was taken professionally. Thank you very much, Jessica. Now, Catherine, for number two is one that you need to read the description, and then we need to choose which one will be the title that we can fit in this one. So, Catherine, please go ahead and read number two.
Okay. You want to show what you have achieved in your family life and are generally more interested in a response from women than from men.
Sorry, I was muted. Perfect. Thank you, Catherine. Now, which one do you think will be the one that fits in there from the ones that we have in the previous page?
F.
F, photo with your baby or child. Okay, guys, what do you think? F?
Yes.
Okay, let me go
Yes,
ahead and
teacher.
select it. Thank you very much, Catherine. Now let's see, Hazel. Hazel, can you help us read number three?
You see your other half as, as the most important thing in your life, and you see yourself as one half of a couple. Couple.
Couple.
Couple.
How or which one do you think is the one that fits in here?
Mm, 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 eh, E.
A photo of you as a child.
E. Photo with a partner.
Oh, E. Okay, let me go ahead and select it. Partner. There we go. Okay, thank you very much, Hazel. Mario, can you help us with number four, please?
Having fun with friends, generally young and carefree. You want to project an image of being fun and popular.
Okay,
Mm,
thank you. This one already had a name. Yeah, having fun with friends. Perfect.
I
Just keep in mind that it's image. Tell me, you have a question.
image. I think. Let me see.
No, but that one already has a name. This one is not missing the name. The one that is missing the name, it's number five. The following.
Okay.
But thank you. Actually, now that you're like so into it, can you do number five now that you're there? Mario?
Excuse me.
Can you read number five and tell us which
Okay.
one do you think is the name that would fit there?
Okay. You are a bit of an escapist and eager to show a different side of yourself from what you do on a day by day basis.
Day-to-day basis.
Day
Okay,
to day
well,
basis.
from these ones that we have on the other page, which one do you think is the one that fits in there?
I think maybe F, maybe. I
F.
don't know.
Okay, let me go ahead and see. Okay, then we can of course correct any of those, so don't worry. Thank you, Mario. Number 6, Melissa Chinchilla.
Okay. This kind of image says that you don't really want to grow up and face the future. You are nostalgic for your childhood.
Okay, thank you. I like the emphasis that you gave it. It was really good. For number 6, which one do you think is the subtitle that fits in it?
Mhm. Mm, A, maybe?
Okay.
Photo of you as a child?
Yeah, it could be. Okay, even though we had already selected that one, so we're gonna be having an extra one. Okay, but thank you, Melly. Number 7, let's see, William.
Caricature. Using a caricature is a way of saying that your image isn't rigid and that you don't take yourself too seriously.
Thank you. Just remember that it's image.
Image. Okay.
Exactly. Thank you. And it's caricature. The ture, it's more like chore. Number 8, David.
Okay, photo related to your name, but not actually you, a shop sign or product level, for example. You want to be identifiable, but you feel your name is more important than what you look like.
Thank you. Only comment, it's identifiable. I at the beginning.
Okay.
Number 9, Gloriana.
Photo related to your political beliefs or a team that you support. You think that your beliefs and interests are more important than your personality.
Thank you. Only comment, interest.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, guys, so we're gonna have 3 more. Since you love volunteering, I'm gonna be picking you. So for number 10, Jessica, can you do number 10?
You think that showing yourself with a well-known person will make you seem more important.
Which one do you think it is?
Mm, Photo with a celebrity.
Yes, perfect. Okay, number 11, Catherine.
Okay, self-portrait taken with webcam or camera phone. Functional. It says, "Look, I don't dress up. Take me as I am." As I am.
Thank you. And Meili Chinchilla, can you do number 12?
Okay. You only use social media in a professional capacity, and you identify more with your work role than with your private life.
Which one do you think is the category that fits in it?
Let me see. Okay. C, logo of your business or company.
Okay, good. Okay, guys, we're gonna stop right here because we just have like 3 more minutes left until 8:30. Super quick. As a commercial, not everyone has filled the forms that I sent to the WhatsApp group. So whomever is missing, please go ahead and complete it since I will be checking it this weekend. So please go ahead and complete it today, hopefully with these extra minutes that we have left. And don't forget that next week we have our first speaking quiz. So prepare for it, practice on the mirror, record yourself, do whatever you need to make sure that you practice a lot of speaking. Since I'm going to be bringing something for next week. I'm going to try to make it related to whatever we are already covering, but still, since we're just still in unit number one, I might go a little bit outside of it just to make sure that I have a variety for you to actually speak on something different, not everyone just saying the same. Any questions or concerns before I let you go?
Teacher, you said that we have to send you a message about a practice.
Yes, thank you. The practice
What
that we
is the
have,
practice?
the practice is this one. Let me go ahead and share it. This one in page 55, there is a second which is number 2 grammar. There was A and there was B. It says page 142 grammar bank 6A. So if you click on the blue part, it's going to take you to the grammar practice. This is a grammar practice. It says 6A, the passive, B plus past participle. So here you have to complete what we have in this specific page.
Teacher,
Yes, tell me.
sorry, but I don't understand that we what we need to have to study for the quiz.
Oh no, there's nothing to study because it is speaking. So what I'm gonna be checking is pretty much if you're able to maintain a conversation or answer questions or etc. If you're able to speak. So what I was giving is just pieces of advice on things that you can actually do to make sure that on Tuesday you're not rusty and that you can actually go ahead and speak. Because sometimes, for example, like if I spend 4 or 5 days without speaking English, then on day number 5, whenever I have to use it, then I just kind of like I still can speak English, but it wouldn't be the same. Like I'm a little bit rusty. Como que uno se rumbra. That's why I was telling you, you can record yourself, speak to the mirror, do anything that you want to. You can sing whatever you want to that makes you speak. Over the weekend and maybe on Monday, of course, you don't have to send me anything, nothing at all. These are just pieces of advice. So on Tuesday, whenever we come, you come, let's say, a little bit loose for the quiz. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Guys, any other question or concern?
Teacher,
Tell me.
where we send the screenshot of the practice?
You can either send it. Okay, let me see. Send it to my email, please. The email is the
Okay.
one where you got the first email, the one where it says it has the link to the meeting and it also has link to the WhatsApp group and everything to that email. You can just reply to that one and send me the image, please. Something super quick on that. That link will be the one that you will be using for every single class. So I'm not gonna be sending you a new link because that one is the one that you can every time that we have a class, you just go into that link, you just click on it, and it's gonna take you to our class. Any other question?
And we have to send you the practice today.
No, no, no. It's already very late. I don't want to kill you like that. You can do it over the weekend. As soon as I have it before Sunday at midnight, I'll be fine. So you can use the rest of today. You have Saturday, you have Sunday, and Sunday until midnight. Then you'll be fine. Because most likely I'll be checking them on Monday. So don't worry.
The practice is only this page,
Yes,
50.
yes. Only this one for the moment. The other one, it's already something that we haven't talked about. So I'm not gonna ask you for something like that. So just
Teacher
tell me.
is only practice, no workbook.
What do you mean? Like if you
Uh,
have to complete the workbook?
yeah.
You can start with the workbook, and that would be a recommendation that I give you. If you have time, start with the workbook because I believe that it's in week 3 or 4 that I'm going to be asking you for some units of the workbook. But still, answering your question, for this Sunday, it's just this one. Well, not this one, the one that it's, let me go ahead and get you to the other page. This one. For this Sunday at midnight, the one that I expect to have on my email is page 142, 6A. So everything that you see right now on the screen is what I'm expecting for this Sunday at midnight. Only that.
Okay.
Any other question? You're very welcome. Okay, guys, that's a no. Still, if you come across any question or concern, you can just go ahead and send me an email or send me a WhatsApp message. There is no problem with that. In case that I don't reply right away, through WhatsApp, it's because I might be working. So, but as soon as I have some time available, I will be getting back to you. So don't worry about it. And without further ado, I hope you have an amazing weekend. It was a very nice first week, and see you on Tuesday, God willing. So take care.
Bye, teacher. Good night.
Good night. Bye bye.
Thank you. Good
Bye.
night.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
teacher.
teacher.
Goodbye.
Thank you, teacher.
Bye. Take care.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye, teacher. Good night.
Bye bye.
Thank you for talk more slowly. Sometimes, sometimes.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying. Sometimes I remember and I try to do it, but thank you for letting me know.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night. Bye bye.